Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. This is M Night, and I'll be commentating a Darius II run that will be played by Prickly Angler. We've seen some Konami representation earlier, but now it's time for some title shmups. And Darius II is one of the series that defined title back then. Because this is a 1989 shmup, it's kind of old, and Darius is one of those classic title series. It's distinctive for two things: ultra wide, multi-screen setups, such as this one, as you can see, that can see super wide, and also giant robot fish. We'll fight plenty of them in the run. So Darius 2 was originally released for the arcades, and actually the main version of the game only uses two screens, but this one has three. So this is some sort of adaptation for cabinets that use three screens, because the original Darius was actually a three-screen game, and this one is um, a two-screen game, but there is this three-screen version, which wasn't even in the ports up until very recently. Like all the previous versions of Darius, like the adaptation and ports on console, were basically set as the two-screen version, but the Pocket Archive version that Pretender is playing has been. So, now he's in the run and he's trying to look for a cave.
I always wanted a thing called tuna sashimi. 3, 2, 1.
Isn't recognizable. Uh, okay. Oh, it's back. It's back. Oh my God. Sorry, guys. I had some mic issues. Um, so, uh, well, the first stage is just now over. You probably saw like all the power-ups. There's a bunch of them. The red one will increase the shot power. The green one will increase the missile power. The blue one increases the shield. So the shield is like that green aura around him, and that is a very important tool because that will let him take some hits without losing a life. So he wants those. Green power-up will increase the missile. The gold one will increase the green laser. So when he started, when Pretender started his run, he didn't have any green laser, but now he has one, and that's going to come in handy in several sections of the game. And there will be also some one-ups in the game. In order to get those power-ups, what Pretender will have to do is kill those UFOs, those gray UFOs that come in a wave, and he has to kill all of them. If he misses even a single one, he won't get the power-up, which is a bit of a departure compared to previous Darius games, where you could basically ignore all the enemies in a power-up wave except the one that is covered. But here's a bit different. And you can see now there's like a one-up floating. Oh, he missed it? That's a shame, but if he clears the game with 1 life, maybe he won't even need it after all. Um, and that's also, you can see like the power of the floating of upwards. It's one of the differences between the 2-screen version and the 3-screen version. That for some reason in the 3-screen version the power floats upwards instead of downwards, which is sometimes helpful, but at other times can be a bit of a pain. So now we're on to the second boss, Alloy Lantern. It has 2 phases. The first one is not too bad, like you just have to shoot the mouse when the boss is fired. And there's also a bomb below the boss, which is some sort of like hard-coded, like a bomb equivalent, but that the developers put into specific places. You can't really choose to bomb whenever you want, unlike many more modern slums. But there's a few locations with these bombs that, if you hit them, they will cause max explosions, and they'll be very helpful against specific bosses or in the stages where they're put. But here, for example, this is the second phase of the boss. This is Sea Urchin. That is quite tricky in the 3-screen version. You saw Prickly Anger went for the bomb, and he managed to hit it, and all parts of the boss exploded. In the 2-screen version of the game, that bomb is easily available. You can destroy it as soon as the boss appears, but it's not really the case here. And he had to dodge a bit more and be careful of those purple orbs. But that's fine now. He dealt with it pretty nicely. And now he's on to stage 3. So stage 3, he chooses the stage E. So I didn't mention that, but in Darius games, there's this classic feature of route selection. When you finish a stage, you put it into this map, and you can choose to go either upwards or downwards in the route selection. So there's lots and lots of various, like a variety of routes and various combinations you can go for. And he decided to go for a specific route that he believes showcases a lot of variety in the stage background and some cool set pieces and all that. So hopefully you will get to appreciate that, because in the older Darius games specifically, it can be a bit tricky to find lots of variety in the environments, because of course Taito had to control it, had a few corners here and there, and there'll be some environments that are kind of similar or palette swapped a bit, at least in the older games like Darius 1, Darius 2, it was kind of like that. But I think the run here will showcase a nice variety, and this one is like this orange sky, which is kind of pretty, but also brings some visibility issues, so he has to be careful about that. You can see orange bullets on the orange sky, or maybe you can't see them, and that's a problem. Also, you just fought the mid-boss, which is Fatty Gluten. All the mid-bosses in this game are actually bosses from the original Darius, but they come back a bit smaller, and usually less dangerous. So Fatty Gluten was like a very infamous boss in Darius 1, and now he's here, and you saw he dealt with it relatively easily. Just destroyed the little piranhas that he spawned, and it's all fine. Now he's fighting some enemies that fire those revenge purple bullets, as well as the missile enemies. But thanks to the upgraded weaponry, now he has this multi-directional green laser, and he has a wider shot. Like, he collected a bunch of power-ups, so he's in a pretty good shape. And he's gonna fight now 3 of them, which is boss number 3. It's like one of the classic boss types of small bosses, the giant snake. And this one is actually pretty cool, because he just moves around all over the place, and also showcases one of the mechanics of the game. So, like, the ship can turn around, and that happens in boss fights. When the boss gets behind you, the ship will automatically turn. You can't turn in the stages usually, but against boss fights you can do that, and that lets you always face it to shoot it, which is pretty cool, and not something you usually see, especially in games of that era. But the widescreen aspect probably like kind of forced it. So now stage I, which is a pretty interesting stage. It also has, in terms of backgrounds and all that, you can see some Greek temples, Greek columns. Like, this is one of the more subtle themes that Darius games have. So you can find in the original Darius as well, and for Darius Gaiden, Darius, you can find at times some of these kind of backgrounds, but it's not as obvious as a space or these kind of classic backgrounds. Now, okay, I've entered a cave, and you can see these bombs drop in. So they're kind of careful. You have to be careful about those. And there's also these nuclear bombs on the ground. They are kind of enticing. You want to shoot them, and it's pretty good. But see, there's a dead end on the bottom path. So you gotta be careful. If you get there, you just get crushed. And right after that, it's Cuttlefish and Mid-Boss, probably one of the toughest ones, especially when its two arms are happening, because they will shoot 80 bullets, and combined with the enemies and the environment, you don't get a lot of room to maneuver around. Thankfully, once you destroy the arms, the Mid-Boss is like way more manageable. And now that he has dealt with it, he doesn't have like lots of dangerous enemies left in the stage. So you gotta be careful, because you can see like those round enemies can prevent bullets from destroyed. And those red turrets shoot missiles that will track you, or is like try to align with your vertical position. So he dealt with that very nicely. Like, so far this run is like going pretty good, I think. And now Red Crab, which is literally a crab that is red. So how are you gonna deal with this? Well, you can see that Prickly is shooting all the parts. Like he already destroyed like lots of legs and the pincers. Now, what he wants to do is to bait the crab on either edge of the screen. Like, it's gonna be the left side, very likely. So he destroyed the last leg, and the crab is now on the floor. He can't move anymore, and he's into its second phase, and he shoots a lot of bullets. And Prickly is on the other side of the screen, or should I say, the other side of the 3 screen. So that's how he was able to destroy it very safely. And this is one of the bosses where that third extra screen in this version of the game is extra helpful. And now, stage end. The pacing is quite wild. Like there's 7 stages per run, and you can go through them at a pretty brisk pace, which is often very interesting in these kind of games, because we've seen games that are pretty long, as many stages. These ones, the Darius games, especially like the first few ones, they pack a lot of content, and with a good pacing. And see, even the stage has this beautiful like earth-like water background and stuff. And then when you go into a base, there's like lots of variety even within the stage. And that base is not a joke. Like there's lots of traps everywhere. There's plenty of walls that kind of like restrict your movement. The upside is that walls in this game will not instantly kill you. So if he touches a wall, he will take continuous shield hits as if he was gliding with an enemy or something, but he will not instantly die, which is pretty good for his goal of like not dying at all if possible. And but despite that, he still has to be careful about all the obstacles. There's like these exploding bombs, there's like these pincers that try to like crush him, and now the mid-boss. There's like strong shell. So strong shell is actually not that strong, it seems, because even though it doesn't seem like it, you can still point blank him during that initial animation, or when he retracts his head with inside his shield, inside its shell, which acts as a shield. That doesn't really actually act as a shield, because you can just keep damaging it, and as long as you worry too much about the spread shots that he can fire, it should be fine. Like he was able to destroy it very quickly and save himself the trouble. Now you can see as well in this stage there's some alternate path somehow, like you can go top or bottom, and you can also use the green laser to destroy targets that are below walls, or like you can use the piercing ability of those green lasers, and that's what he used. And now Leadane, the boss. So it's a pretty, I wouldn't say lengthy, but it has multiple phases. Now it's the first phase where you have to destroy those 4 tentacles. The more tentacles are destroyed, the more spikes the boss shoots at you. And the tentacles themselves can also like rush towards you, so that's gonna be something to look out for. And now probably the most confusing phase, where the top and bottom halves of the shell try to crush you, while the boss is also shooting bullets and needles. So you gotta be careful for all directions, because if the shell crushes you, that deals a lot of damage to your shield. But now, third phase, where it's just the core, it's more straightforward, and the boss will shoot forward lasers and these aimed pink bullets. So as long as you have like a good dodge sense and just move out and left and do some doodle tap dodging, shouldn't be too bad. But if the boss stops attacking for a while, as you can see, it's gonna bring out the whip. So that's something that can surprise you at first. But so far so good. Rectangular managed to beat the boss, and he's gonna move on to the next stage, which is gonna be, I believe, stage T. And this stage, especially like the second to last stage, this is gonna be the second to last stage in his run. This one is also pretty beautiful. Look at that, like ice background and this aurora borealis. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, but it can also be quite deadly, especially in your first few runs. If you had made too many mistakes early on, if you took too many hits on your shield, because most stages will give you power-ups of various kinds, shot, missile, laser, or shield itself. But this one will not give you shield power-ups. So basically, all the shield units that you have accumulated up until now, that's gonna be all you have for this specific stage. And when going for 1cc of this game, it's not rare to end up losing your first life here in your serious attempts, because all the hits you've taken earlier could have been offset by collecting power-ups, shield power-ups to replenish and refresh it a bit. But no, it's not really the case anymore, is it? If there's nothing, you have to like play well. And playing well is something that's really going to be important for this mid-boss fight. So fighting Octopus, which wasn't such a... Well, it's probably one of the easiest fighting bosses in the original Darius, but here, he comes back with these very aggressive wave pattern and the aim bullets. Cookie Angler really focused on that boss, on that mid-boss I mean. He point-blanked it, and the reason why is that if you don't speed kill it, then the other dangerous enemies you can see here, the rings of red enemies or the blue turrets, they will overlap with the boss, and then you will be trapped. There's also these hatches with missiles flying out of them, and those teleporting blue enemies, which make the... Well, they're kind of a nasty surprise at first, so you gotta expect them. And now Grand Octopus. So this boss, yeah, this boss is a big wall, I guess. I mean, when you're playing your first few 1cc attempts, but Pokemon here for the first stage has started going behind the boss to bait the tentacles and try to like outmaneuver them. It's a bit easier to do that in the 2-screen version. The 3-screen version's tentacles are more intelligent, I guess, but here Pokemon has lots of power and is able to like really destroy them quickly. And now like he also took down the second phase by doing these circles and destroying the little octopi. They keep moving on the left if you stay on the left, but if you do these circles, they can try to leave the screen very early, which is very useful, and especially if you have lots of power. Now, stage Z, the final stage. So far, so good. So let's hope this keeps going well. And this is a very pretty stage. Like that blue fire is like mesmerizing. You don't even realize it's actually a palette swap of the original stage. And all the final stages in this game, except Zone X, I believe, have 2 mid-bosses that you have to fight. So it's not easy. And those mid-bosses are like rematches against some of the early mid-bosses, but they are jacked up, they are more powerful. See Strong Shell here? Well, he's actually stronger. See that spread shot? It's a bit more aggressive, and the number of missiles that he shoots as well is higher than in his previous fight. This specific zone, Zone Z, gives you the shield power up very early in this stage, which is pretty helpful. But it's not all the final stages that will give you that luxury. Some of those will force you to fight the first mid-boss before you can get back a little bit of shield, which is very stingy if you ask me. Especially after an entire stage where you didn't get any shield replenished. But we're not at the second mid-boss yet, but you can see a variety of enemies coming from all directions. So those square enemies that shoot the lasers, that purple lasers, pretty dangerous as well. So Quick Angler anticipated them and took them down. Now, we're fighting Cuttlefish again, probably one of the toughest mid-boss rematches, you can't you have to micro dodge. You have to go through the spread, and you can't really cheese it or anything. So you have to be really good with dodging. And this is something that in Darius 2, it can seem a bit strange at first, like it's impossible to micro dodge, but with enough experience and like a good handle on the ship speed and just how the ship controls, you can do some pretty interesting dodges. And Trick Angler has so much experience. He has played this game for like almost 3 years now, in all versions of the game. Two screens, some console ports, some higher difficulties, the international versions as well, Sagaya and all that. So yeah, it's not the experience, and he was able to like really move his ship around and make it to the final boss. Biostrong with still his shield intact and all his power. So Biostrong is kind of unique in a way because this boss doesn't look like a Darius boss. It's not like sea fish or it's like, what is this? It's like some sort of embryo that would be more at home in Archetype, I guess. But Darius 2 has a few funky designs like that. So this boss is also interesting because in the two-screen version, it has these two same patterns where he has all the purple orbs as well as the yellow orb spread. And the yellow orb spread is pretty dangerous, but here you have some more room because of that third screen. Well, rather should I say, thanks to that third screen, you can stay on the left side. You don't really have to like switch places when the boss like moves around and all that. So you can stay there. And that's what Prickly does. They're set up with a safe spot-ish where you stay at the top and move past the spread shot before they spread out. But Prickly Angler plays it safe, and he just defeated the boss. He just defeated the final boss. Congratulations! This is goal accomplished. Like, he didn't lose any life. So I didn't even have time, I guess, or the opportunity to talk about how if you die in the game, you lose all your power, and you have lots of lives. You get extends and one-ups, but you kind of like limp in the final stage and all that with default power while the game is still overwhelming. But that didn't even happen. Like, he made it look so easy because he kept his life, his starting life, and he kind of cruised through the game. That's so cool. Congrats again. I mean, enjoy the credits. And yeah, it seems like a happy ending. Happy ending for the player, happy ending for the run, but also happy ending in universe. Which is kind of surprising, I guess, when you're used to Taito and all the bad, gloomy endings you can get. But this was pretty damn cool. Um, so I don't know if Brick Angler will come for like final words or something, but yeah, in any case, he's a big fan of the game. He has played it for quite a while. As I mentioned earlier, he cleared the game in like different. Oh, hi, quickly. Hey, congratulations on your clear, man.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, it went on pretty well, I think. I think I got to the last boss with my shield still many hits intact. I think the run was going pretty. Yeah. I think the run was going.
I think.
Yeah.
I just kind of had some mic issues at the very beginning, so I guess I kind of missed stage 1 and like 2.
Oh, okay.
But I know that everything else went like pretty smoothly for you.
Yeah, it went pretty well. I think I was a bit stressed of me being maybe overconfident or something like that, because Darius II can be a very unforgiving game. But even at the end, even if I made some mistakes, I think there were minor mistakes, and it was pretty confident. No miss. I was a bit stressed because on some of my training attempts, sometimes I didn't no miss the game, but I was glad I was able to do it tonight.
Yeah, and I think there was some, like in the cuttlefish match, for example, in the final stage, you took a few hits here and there, but still, because you played the rest of the game up until now so well, you had enough shield in stock, and now you could go all the way to the end.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I think it was a pretty secure run because most times when I reach that stage, I don't have a shield left, and I have more room on the micro dodging, so it's less strict. Because when you have a shield, your hitbox is bigger, so it's a bit more unforgiving, the placement you need to do with the dodging.
Nice. Well, excellent. So this was, I guess, Darius 2 three-screen version. This is the arcade archive version. This also gives you the options to have the screens misaligned and with the wrong colors for the true vintage experience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think if you run into the game, I think there's one arcade in Japan that still has it. It probably will look like that. Like it's not like if you see footage of Darius One Cab, it looks kind of like the same, the cover and the misalignment. So yeah, I think it was
So
pretty
you,
good to add this as a sort of like nice feature.
it's pretty hilarious. And now you're ready for whenever you go to Japan and go clear this game in the actual physical cab or something.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I'd like to try the Darius II cab because I tried the Sagaya cab once, but actually it was the first time I met you. I saw you playing the Sagaya cab.
Yeah.
It's a really nice cabinet, but I'd love to try the Japanese cabinet, the seated cabinets, because
Yeah.
you don't get the Bonnie Sonic unfortunately on the upright cabinet. And for me at least, they're least comfortable to play, and also the cab didn't have auto, so you sort of have to mash. And since I'm a bit tall, you kind of have to bend in to play. So yeah, really like to try
Mm,
the Darius 2K, but eventually one day.
absolutely. Well, thank you for this run,
Yeah,
and
thanks a lot.
see you guys for the next few runs.
Bye
There's
bye.
lots of shmups coming up.
Yeah, see you around. Bye bye.
See ya.